Good evening, everyone. I'm getting ready to make frog's breath soup from the Nightmare Before Christmas cookbook. There's a quick picture of it. If you want the actual recipe, I will link it down below. So this recipe calls for asparagus, potato, a leek, butter, salt, pepper, and then chicken broth. I love this better than bouillon, so I will make my own chicken broth. And then it says to garnish it with chives. I'm actually going to garnish it with green onions just because I don't have chives, but I happen to have green onions. If you want a free recipe, just Google frog's breath soup. There are recipes online that are very similar to this one, not the exact. A lot of recipes I saw online used broccoli, used peas because you want a green soup, or used kale. But this is the only recipe that I actually saw that used leeks and asparagus. So I thought that was really interesting. So first you're gonna dice everything up, not the onions, that's for garnish. So dice up the leek, cut the asparagus into like 1-inch pieces, chop the potato, peel the potato and chop the potato into small chunks. And first you cook the leek, then you add the potato, then you add the asparagus, and then it's all pureed together to hopefully make a really cool green looking soup. So I'm gonna get everything washed and start dicing it, and we will see how it looks along the way and taste test it at the end. So yeah, I do like this book. I've had it for a couple years. Like I mentioned before, I will link it down below if you are interested in it. There are several good recipes in it. My only complaint about this cookbook is there is not a picture for every single recipe. And I realize not all cookbooks have tons of pictures, but I like a cookbook that has a picture for every recipe because I need to know what the finished product is supposed to look like. Like my Beetlejuice cookbook had a picture for everything. And I got a couple new cookbooks this week, and they had a picture for every recipe. So I don't know why this one did not have a picture for each one. But that's it, to each his own. That's my only complaint about this cookbook. Other than that, it's really good. And so, yeah, this soup is just going to be an appetizer. My husband is going to make fish to go with it, and I will get started. I got the leek chopped up, and so the first step is to saute this in a saucepan with 2 tablespoons of butter and let that cook for 5 minutes. So leeks is, I guess, the thing that needs to be cooked the longest. Cooking the leeks for 5 minutes in the butter. The next step is to add the chicken broth, or you can use vegetable broth, but and I just spilled some of it. Making a mess. And the potatoes, and cook that for 10 minutes. The next part is to add the chopped asparagus for 5 minutes. So after this cooks for 5 minutes, the recipe calls for blending it in small batches in the blender after it cools down for a little bit. But I have a hand blender, so I'm just gonna blend it in the pot. I do that with all my soups, it works. If you don't have one, I highly recommend it. This is the one I use, and I love it. Blending it all together definitely makes the world of difference of how it looks. Looks like pea soup. Now we've got some fish going on. I just added a little pepper. I like the thickness. Robert taste tested it. He says it's not bad. I taste tested it. It definitely tastes like asparagus. So if you don't like asparagus, but if you like split pea soup, I think you're gonna like this. Here is the soup. So I just use sour cream to garnish it instead of heavy cream because heavy cream is expensive. And then green onions diced. It looks really good. And I have these little red bowls. All right, we're gonna try the frog's breath soup. I love making soup in the fall. I plan to make a whole bunch for the month of October. So this is my first one. A lot of people online call it Souptober. It's just October. It's really good, but it tastes like asparagus. I wouldn't know there was leeks in it.
So I said they're kind of mild. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Different than an onion.
Yeah. I will say when I was boiling it, before I blended it, I didn't think it was going to turn green like this. Blending it made all the difference. Do you like it?
I do like it.
Do you like it better than split pea soup?
No.
No.
It's good, but split pea kind of takes on the flavor of the ham that's in it.
Yeah.
You could do that with this, I think. I think you could use ham stock.
Yeah. It's a good recipe. Would I do it again? No, because split pea soup is just what we're used to and it's a lot cheaper. Technically, this wasn't expensive overall, but compared to split pea soup, it was, because 1 pound of asparagus I got at Aldi for like a little less than $3. At our grocery store, it would have been like $4.50. The leek was like $1.50. Potato, just when you add all the ingredients, when you can buy a bag of split peas for like $1. And then if you have leftover ham, that's all you need. So value-wise, split pea soup is way cheaper. But this is a good taste. I guess if I had like easier access to asparagus and leeks, but we didn't. I had to go to 2 different stores. I do like asparagus.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose if I ever grew asparagus and I had an overabundance, this would be one way to use it up. And like for a Halloween party, it does look good. Doesn't it? Like for a Halloween party.
Yeah, I think it does.
And if you're a vegetarian, this would be a good soup for a vegetarian.
Except for the chicken stock.
Yeah, just don't use chicken stock. You can use vegetable stock. I really like it. I don't add too much salt because the chicken stock was already salty. And this tastes pretty salty, but in a good way. So yeah, this is a good recipe. I just wasn't, you know, when you saw the earlier clips of it boiling down, I didn't think it was gonna look this green, this good. And I definitely recommend that hand blender because putting it in an actual blender when it's hot and stuff, or having to wait till it was cooling down, that's just too much work. Those hand blenders aren't that expensive. And it's got a guard on it, so it's not gonna, if you're careful, you're not gonna scratch the bottom of your pot. You just gotta be careful. I've used it a lot. It comes very handy. The more I eat this, the more I like this. I guess I am kind of tasting the leek. It's the first time I've ever like cooked with a leek, or knowingly ate one. Like I'm sure we eat out a lot. I'm sure there was some recipe that had leeks in it. I like it.